It's time for another episode of Raising Courageous Leaders by Mr. Bonke Shipalana. That's my dad.
Taking the time to exactly 10:30 and time for the Motivation Open Line with Bonke Shipalana. We're talking about what's holding you back from success and living your best life. If you feel stuck, how can you get unstuck? We're speaking to Bonke Shipalana, who is a businessman and life strategist. How are you doing today, Bonke?
I am fine. Nothing is holding me back. How about you?
You know what I was saying when we were sharing yesterday that we're going to be talking about this particular subject? I was saying, sure, it feels like you're coming for me directly. I don't know what it is, but these are some questions that have been looming and lingering in my mind. So I'm personally very happy to be having this discussion with you. So what made you think that perhaps this is something we need to explore?
I think for me there are two things that cropped into my mind. Number one, we all went or still going through a lockdown phase, COVID phase, where people made plans in 2018, 2019, and those plans had to be placed in a shelf for 2020 and even 2021. That's one. Number two, I've seen quite a number of young people who have big dreams, who have got big visions, but as time went on, things became dim. And they lost a certain level of hope in chasing those dreams and just relied on day-to-day living and never pushed forward. So that's why I came with this particular topic. Yeah.
And when it comes to the feeling of being stuck, I mean, quite rightfully you say the pandemic has presented itself with all kinds of challenges where, like you say, many people have planned things for themselves but weren't able to fulfill those plans because, I mean, the entire world came to a standstill. But besides the COVID pandemic, a lot of people in somehow, ibakhona this level of fear when it comes to the pursuit of their dreams, whatever it is that they have planned for themselves, there is some kind of stumbling block. And I'm sure you'll agree, you see this a lot, where people, will use any kind of excuse to not pursue further because of the fear, I guess, that just grips you.
I think for most of us, the biggest challenge is that we tend to believe in our past over our future. Yeah. We tend to look back and allow the past to define who we are, and we fear who we want to be. A simple scenario example is, I mean, if you go to Phuket or India, you'll see a big, huge elephant tied next to a short log, and you look at it and say, but come on, that elephant is so strong. If it moved, it pulled the rope, the log would just come out. We know how strong elephants are. Yes. But the amazing thing is that what the trainer did is that they tied that elephant next to a log while it was still a small elephant. It was still a baby elephant. And every time it tried to move, it knew that after 2 meters, I get stuck. After 2 meters, I get stuck. And even as it was growing and gained more strength, it still believed that after 2 meters, I get stuck. So the big elephant is not being held back by the rope, but it's being held back by its belief system. Oof. So most of us have this rope around our neck, this rope around our vision, this rope around our hope, this rope around our goals, and it's just a belief system. We don't believe that we deserve. We don't believe that we can. We don't believe that we have the resources within us. In simple English, and in continuing from where we stopped last week, we believe in the fact and not the truth. We look back and say, you know what, I failed 3 times. It means I'm a failure. So-and-so tried this type of business. It never worked for them. It means it won't work for me. So there is a rope that is holding us back. Anyone else will look at us and say, but Apelele, you are a powerful woman. Apelele, you are talented. Apelele, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4. But when you look at yourself, you don't see it because you still see yourself as a baby elephant tied next to a small log. And I just hope and pray that we can all ignore that rope and pull forward. And suddenly things that were keeping you in one position will come out and you can move.
And if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying we tend to stand in our own way. Yes?
Yes.
So we have imagined...
Belief system blocks us. Our belief system is what blocks our vision. We tend to want to look into the future by looking at the rear mirror while driving. The reason why a rear mirror is such a small thing is because it gives you perspective of where you come from. but the windscreen gives you perspective of where you're going.
Sure.
So spend most of your time focusing forward. You can't drive looking backwards. It's impossible. Even steering qua TV, they don't do that anymore. You have to look forward and keep on driving. And I'm praying and hoping that people understand that what happened to you, what happened to your friend in terms of blocking them or yourself from success was a small thing. You are a baby, but now you have grown, you have learned.
Yes.
You can do it.
How do we then, shut out external influences? Because, siphilisana nabantu emhlabeni, and like you're saying, sometimes I would think that I can't do certain things because a friend of mine tried the same thing and they weren't successful. Or we tend to see people, maybe I had an idea that I thought was born in my mind, but then I see it, somebody else is doing it, and then I get discouraged from also pursuing the very same thing. So how do we get other people and other voices out of our heads? How do we shut out external influences and trust what you are saying, that, indaba yefear is just but a little thing in comparison to what lies ahead and what it is that we are rightfully in position to go and pursue?
The four quick points I want to share. Number one, you can't learn how to swim by reading a book.
I like that.
So for me, there are quite a number of people who want to gain victory in their mind, but they don't want the muscles to actually be part and parcel of that dream.
Yes.
So one, you must actually start something. That is one. Number two, you must do something. On earth, action is a symbol of life. Anything that is alive has a certain level of movement. People who are in pain but serious about life do not wait for everything to be perfect to focus on their purpose. They do not wait for all the problems or obstacles to disappear. They do not wait until the fear subsides. They do something. The difference between a successful person and others is not lack of strength, not lack of knowledge, but rather a lack of action. So do something. Just move.
Start.
Just wake up in the morning and do something.
Start.
You can't get a job while sleeping. You have to do something, even if you start at the bottom. Start and do something. Number three, continuous learning. Empower yourself. Take responsibility for your own life. I've seen so many employees who get employed in a particular company, after 4 years are bored and they blame the boss. No! It's your life. You must read, you must study, you must empower yourself. Yes, if the company is willing to invest in you, that's good, that's a bonus. But you have the foundation at the end of the day to go and empower yourself. And these days, with Google, with internet, with free Wi-Fi, you can read and learn as much as possible.
Very true.
Continuous learning. Last but not least, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Just believe. And unfortunately, this part is hard for most people because we want to believe something tangible. Hope is intangible. Hope is a spirit. Hope is a belief. For me, when I had 2 points that I used to use when I was growing up, I still use today in order to bring hope alive in my spirit. And the first point is, if it's God's will, it's God's bill.
Yes. Love that.
If God wants me to have it, He has to take care of it. And this point came from the time when I was young, and my mom would say, Bonke, tomorrow morning I want you to go to town. Vuga mtanami, uhlambe, ube ready, and fagi Vaseline, you're going to town to buy 1, 2, 3, 4. In the morning, I'll wake up and wash, fagi Vaseline, and wear my best clothes. The issue emali was not my problem.
Sure.
It was the problem of the one who sent me to town or sending me to town. So Tina, we tend to worry too much about the resources. If it's God's will, it is a responsibility to assist you in strengthening you and giving the resources and the opportunities for you to make it. That is one. Number two, I always say that to myself, Bonke, don't build with what is in your pocket, but build with what's in God's pocket. I've got limited knowledge and resources. I've got limited knowledge and resources. I can't always have the best answers. So sometimes when I dream, I say, God, I want that job. I want that car. I want to go on holiday. But I can't afford. Please assist me. Give me a new strategy in my mind. And that is where hope is. Hope doesn't require a qualification. Hope is not a race issue. Hope is not a level of employment issue. We all have equal hope levels in this world. But the question is, are you using it or not?
And I mean, I hear you talk about, God quite a bit in what you're saying, especially where the part of hope is concerned, and not relying on your own personal strengths and all of that, but just rather surrendering that. What can you say in terms of strengthening one's spiritual resolve in order for you to be able to action all of these things?
I think for me, the big thing that I had to accept in this world is that I don't make the sun come up every day.
Yeah.
I don't control the waves.
Yes.
I don't control my life. I promise you, and I think we experienced it through COVID where some people were short of breath. I don't even control the way I breathe. Simply meaning that there is a certain power out there that has got more control of this world than I do. And for me, whatever that power is, believe in it. For me, that power is God. And that's where hope is. When I say have hope, it simply means that I'm saying to my God, I am trying my level best. Mm-hmm. Please also do your level best. I admit that I am surrendering. I don't have all the solutions, all the answers.
Yes.
I have to trust someone more powerful than me. And that someone more powerful than me in my own life is God.
Stop waiting for someone to rescue you.
You must have patience and engage in consistent action.
Find the inspiration within yourself.
Patience
to rise above and be your own hero. Join Bonke Shipalana on The Power Within